What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, the thumbnail ain't tricking ya. We're ranking every single fucking fighter in the UFC. I don't have to worry about getting demonetized from swearing in the first 15 seconds of the video, because I'm not even demonetized to begin with. I'm not even monetized to begin with. But regardless, yeah, we're ranking every single fighter in the UFC who is undefeated. I found 30 of them. Maybe there's more. I don't think there's less, because I'm pretty sure these guys are all undefeated. But if there's more that I forgot, let me know. This is actually the second time I had to record it because I forgot 3 people, so I had to go back and redo it. It was very frustrating. So, like the video, guys. Hope you enjoy. Subscribe. Put some effort into this one. I mean, not really. I just researched undefeated fighters. But yeah, this took so long to, guys, so a like and subscribe would really help, and it would really be appreciated. But nah, fuck it. Let's get into the video. Number 30. Who the fuck is that guy? Clayton Carpenter is his name. Random ass fucking auraless video game NPC based character name. Fuck is this guy doing? Clayton Carpenter, no. I mean, this is one of the rare circumstances where you see like well, not rare, but like it's one of the circumstances where you see undefeated and you go, ooh, nah, doesn't mean shit with this guy. He's fought one fucking opponent in the UFC. Not all that, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. I actually, to be honest, haven't watched him fight. But no, Clayton Carpenter. Who cares? Who's this guy? He got booked for a fight recently, I think. That's my guess. I don't know. But yeah, 7-0. Pretty mid fucking dude, I'll be honest. I don't think there's anything that special. Let's move on to the next spot. Next up, we got this dude, Magomed Gajiazulov. He's 9-0. I'm putting him at the 29 spot. Look, he's not all that. He took Branson Heberio to a decision. You should be finishing Branson Heberio, who, although he's kind of athletic and he's a pretty decent fighter, he's got a pretty mid chin, and he really ain't all that. So yeah, he should have finished him. He looked kind of mid. He was a really big favorite on a couple of weeks ago's card in Saudi Arabia, and just didn't look all that in my opinion. So I'm not that high on Magomed Gajiazulov. I think what's this guy? What country is he from? Well, where's he fighting out of? I don't fucking, Bahrain. He's fighting out of Bahrain. Shamil Gaziev's homeland. We know Gaziev's the GOAT, obviously. If he was undefeated, which he is, but if his record technically said undefeated and on paper, he would be number 1 in this video, but unfortunately, they tried to deceive us and tell us that he lost the fight. It could never happen. But yeah, Shamil Gaziev is the real Bahraini fighter in the UFC. Gajiazulov, mid as hell. Let's move on, though, to the next spot. Next up, this fucking inbred. Aliasgab Kizrayev, 14-0. Unbelievably mid fighter. Beat Dennis Talulin. Congratulations. Welcome to the club. Pretty sure every single fucking person who is on the UFC middleweight roster has beaten Dennis Talulin. And if you haven't, if you fought Talulin and lost to him, you should probably just hang it up, buddy. But yeah, what's his name? Kizrayev just had a no contest in his last fight with Muradov. This dude went away for 2 years because he was struggling with obesity as a professional fighter. That's tough. But yeah, Kizrayev, pretty mid fighter. He's the runt of the dagger. He's like the middleweight Abubakar Nurmagomedov of sorts. Probably a bit better than Abubakar, but he's not good. Let's move on, though, to the next fighter. Next up, at the 27 spot, Janata Deniz, 7-0, kickboxer, former glory kickboxer, I'm pretty sure. This dude, weirdest fucking build, head shape, facial expression, everything about this dude. He just it makes me uncomfortable to look at. What is this dude's makeup? What physique, build, face, everything. Why does he look like that? I don't know. But he got wrestle fucked for a round in his debut by Austin Lane and then KO'd him because Austin Lane sucks. But you probably should be finishing Austin Lane in the first and not even getting taken down to begin with, to be honest. So yeah, Janata Deniz, he's fighting Carl Williams next weekend. He's probably going to lose because Carl Williams really good at just taking down the heavy power punches and being boring. So he'll probably do that again. But yeah, Janata Deniz does have some finishing potential, but apart from that, really don't got much going for him. Let's move on, though, to the next fighter. Next up, we got the GOAT, Mick Porkin, the Porky Boy himself. Look, he's decent. He's 10-0, just coming off a TKO win in the first round where he forced Lucas Tracy to muzz on stream. Someone sent me that. Someone's like, you gotta go watch Lucas Tracy's stream. He said that if Mick Parkin wins by KO, he'll hit a muzz. And so I'm like, I'll tune into Lucas Tracy's stream. I turn it on. Mick Parkin immediately gets a KO and this dude's just muzzing. It's very amusing to watch. But yeah, Mick Parkin, look, I know people are gonna act like we're in the Tom Aspinall era. Nah, bro, you're casual. We're in the Mick Parkin era now. But no, he'll probably become like ranked. We have him in our fan rankings. We have him at number 15. But apart from that, I think he'll win a couple more fights in the UFC. Probably he'll lose at one point in maybe his like next couple fights. But he's alright, Mick Parkin. He's actually decent. Let's move on though to the next fighter. Next up, Hyung-Sung Park, 9-0, fighting out of South Korea. Pretty young guy as well. Don't let Diddy near him. Why did I say that? Hyung-Sung Park though, he's not an up-and-coming rapper, he'll be fine. Hyung-Sung Park, very solid fighter. I mean, he's alright. I mean, he beat Shannon Ross again, congrats. Shannon Ross is like the flyweight Dennis Talulan. Like, you're just that good. Like, if you just have, it's like a requirement. It's like your fucking entry level, like, base. Like, it's like when you're trying to get, like, entry into, like, a fucking university, college, whatever the fuck you're doing, and you guys need some qualifications or some shit, or some sort of, like, ATAR, we call it in Australia, or study score, whatever. Like, that's the very minimum. The very minimum that you can get to get into the thing. That's what fucking Shannon Ross is. Like, you gotta beat that dude. He did. He won by TKO. Looked alright. He's undefeated though. He's young. He's a solid fighter. So yeah, keep an eye on Hyung-Sung Park. Let's move on though to the next fighter. Staying with the flyweights, Andre Lima, 9-0 as well, 24 spot. I don't know why I said 24. He's not 24 years old. I think he's a bit older than that. But Andre Lima, he's fighting Felipe dos Santos in a couple of weeks' time. Great fight. I'm probably going to pick him to win, but not super confident. This dude does actually look pretty solid on the feet. His striking's not bad. Mixes in the kicks. Decent in the grappling as well. Weird situation in his debut. Got bitten. Won by DQ, but since then, obviously won that fight. He's won another one. He was scheduled to fight Hyung-Sung Park. Park pulled out with an injury. Then he was scheduled to fight some Mongolian dude that had every fucking letter of the alphabet in his name. I'm calling him fucking Genghis Khan Jr., right? But that guy pulled out too. That guy was undefeated, but he's not in the video because he hasn't actually fought in the UFC yet. But yeah, then he fought some random bum and he won the fight. But yeah, solid fighter, Andre Lima, pretty decent. Let's move on though to the next fighter. Sticking with flyweight, Rafael Estevam, 12-0 Brazilian, beat Charles Johnson in his debut, which is aging very well. Just grapple fucked him in the first two, lost the third, but still won the decision. Yeah, solid win in his debut, which has aged pretty well. I haven't watched too much of his fights, just watched him wrestle fuck Charles Johnson for 2 rounds, then get beaten up a bit in the third. But yeah, he's a solid fighter. I've got him above the other two just because the win over Charles Johnson is better than any of Park or Lima's wins. But yeah, he's a very solid fighter. Let's move on though to the next fighter. Next up, Shara Magomedov. Now some people are going to be having an aneurysm. Why is he this low? He should be higher on the list. I don't rate him that much. Look, is his striking technically better than like a lot of the guys that I'm going to have above him? Or yes, he does have a very skillful base, probably more skilled than a lot of guys have like an individual base, but I just don't see this dude doing anything at middleweight. He'll probably become ranked with the right opponent. His striking's very solid, but like even his distance management is awful. His takedown defense is non-existent. I just don't see him getting that far at middleweight. Look, if he goes out there, smokes Mikhail or Jacek in like a minute, then maybe I'll change my opinion. Maybe I'll be like, okay, he could just melt people on the feet. But this dude took Antonio Tricoli into the third. Like, you got to be finishing Mackenzie Dern's boyfriend, who's only got a career because he's Mackenzie Dern's boyfriend. Like, or only got into UFC, I should say. Anyway, let's move on to the next fighter. Next up, we got Haider Emil, who's 10-0. He's 34, which is, like, why he's not a bit higher, because this list is also based off, like, how high I rate their chances to win a belt. Now, a lot of these guys aren't going to win a belt, of course, but Haider Emil is a guy that, like, if this list was rated on excitement factor, he'd be fucking top 5 for sure. But it's not. It's based off how good I think they are, how likely they are to win a belt, all that shit, who they've beat. And Haider Emil, you know, Jong Yong Lee's solid fighter, right? But Fernie Garcia's mid. And also, he just seems like one of those dudes that's going to be real fun. He's going to chuck him, but he ain't going to beat anyone like really technical and really solid. And like, but I really like Haider Emil. He's a great fighter, but I just don't think he's like incredible. He's incredible to watch, but not a like super high level guy. Let's move on though to the next fighter. Next up, Naruto Ariev, 9-0. Him coming in at the number 20 spot. Very solid fighter. Beat Rafael Alves in his debut, but that was in February last year. Where's this motherfucker been? I don't know. He just dipped. He retired from so. Brother, my mother told me I have to go back to Tajikistan and sleep with my god sister, brother. I cannot participate in this sport anymore. I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing. But as Dana White would say, I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing. But yeah, no, Alia, very solid fight. He was booked to fight Rebecca in November. Must have got injured pretty bad, so I assume we'll see him back later this year, hopefully. But no promises, because otherwise this dude's going to probably be out for fucking 2 years. Anyway, let's move on to the next fighter. Next up, we've got Jean Matsumoto, 15-0 Brazilian, young as well. Again, don't let him near the diddler. I think he's 24, I believe. Really good fighter. Beat Dan Argueta in his debut, which is actually a pretty solid win. And the way he did as well, by finish too, got the guillotine, made that work, put him out as well. So not just like one of those soy guillotine taps where the dude just is a bit uncomfortable. Like, he put him out. So good stuff. He's good. He's got good striking too. Obviously, the debut nerves, he looked a little bit iffy, but I do think this dude's a real good fighter. Looked great on Contender Series. Keep an eye on this dude, Jean Matsumoto. As Dana White would say, I love everything about this kid. But no, I don't know. I'm not crazy high on him, but he would be higher if I was. But yeah, he's a solid fighter. Let's move on to the next guy. Next up on the list, Michael Morales, 16-0. He's fighting Neil Magny, so he's about to get a chance to be ranked, and I'm probably going to pick him to win, but I still am not that impressed by Michael Morales. Look, he's young. He has time to improve, but right now I'm only seeing just like a pretty athletic dude with some half-decent striking and some decently, like, just strength-based grappling. I don't think he's all that. I don't think I would pick him up against, like, anyone really solid. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh, because some of these other guys are going to be like, oh, well, they're not even that good. But, I don't know. This is just what I feel about Morales. I don't think he's all that. I think he's just very mid. Jake Matthews decision, Max Griffin decision, where he was getting pieced up a little bit at times, like, not the best look. I don't know. I just don't think he's amazing. Like, you beat Adam Fugit, and you beat Trevin Giles by TKO after getting dropped by him. Like, I don't know, I'm just not that impressed. Let's move on, though, to the next fighter. Next up, we've got Rinya Nakamura, 9-0, 28 years old, I believe, Olympic wrestling background, I think came silver or bronze, I forget. But, unlike Triple C, guys, I want Olympic medal, guys, gold medal, guys. No, but Rinya Nakamura, he's a very solid fighter, great wrestling. I just don't really see the jiu-jitsu or the striking. I still think this dude's very solid. I'm still going to pick him at a lot of his fights. Maybe I should have him a little bit up, but a lot of these placements are they're toss-ups. You could move one of them up, you can move one of them down. So don't come at me in the comments and be like, Rinya Nakamura should be 12 instead of 16 or some shit like that. I don't know. Yeah, probably should be. Fuck knows why I put him here. A lot of these are just kind of... Same with if you watch a lot of my tier lists. I don't really rank anything in order. I just kind of chuck it all on there and be like, yeah, whatever. Like, it's like the bottom end is pretty set. The top end is pretty set, but then that middle part, I kind of just chuck everything together and just go like, yeah, sure, I'll put it in this order. It's fine. Rinya, though, very good fighter. Fernie Garcia decision. What's the other guy's name decision that he beat? The fucking dude, the jiu-jitsu guy that Rogan was jizzing his pants over going for heel hooks. I forget. But regardless, yeah, mid-fighters decisions. That's why I'm not super high on him. I am pretty high on him, but that's why I just don't have him a little bit higher on the list. Let's move on, though, to the next fighter. Next up on the list, Farid Basharat, 12-0, sorry. He's going to come in at the number 16 spot. Very solid fighter. Montel Jackson win, pretty solid fucking W there. Taylor Lapulus win, very solid win. Who else did he beat? Clayton Rodriguez subbed him immediately. Farid Basharat, I think, is the better Basharat brother. The other one kind of got fraud checked by Helwani. What's his name? Amian Zahabi. But no, Farid's actually pretty solid. Good wrestling, decent striking. Very, very solid fighter. Let's move on, though, to the next guy. Next up, we've got Umar Sy, 10-0 out of France. Africa FC coming in clutch here, obviously. True Frenchman, you can see from his tone. But no, Umar Sy, very solid fighter. Good grappling. And he's a Frenchie with grappling. Bro, it's over for the whole division. But no, he's actually very solid. He's fighting Darwin Jung in Paris this year. I think he's going to win pretty comfortably. I reckon he'll finish Darwin Jung on the grounds, probably by submission. And then I reckon give him a top 15 guy, back end top 15 guy. I wouldn't mind them just feeding him to Anthony Smith, or feeding Anthony Smith to him, I should say. But yeah, I think he's very solid. Solid striking, obviously undefeated, lots of finishes. Very good fighter, Umar Sy is. Let's move on, though, to the next guy. Next up, we got Azamat, the Density Maximo Zakhanov, 13-0. He's fighting this weekend against Alonzo, the retard Menafield. I just come up with random nicknames on the spot. No, but obviously the Density Maxo, that's Lucas Tracy's thing. I know he came up with that. But Mirzakhanov, very solid fighter, solid striking, 35 though. I know it's light heavyweight, he's got time, but I doubt it. I just don't see much going for him in terms of like making a run. Doesn't seem to be the most active guy either. And also like wins decision over Jacoby, Tafon and Chukwi, some other dude. Like he's not beating anyone crazy good. He's not just an absolute world beater. He's very good. Maybe goes out there and starches Menifield immediately. If Menifield's retarded, but yeah, I don't know. He's a very solid fighter. If I say negative things, it's not like I'm saying like at this point in the list, all of these guys are extremely good. All of them, I think, are future top 15 guys, right? But some of them are just less so than others and more so than others. Whatever. But yeah, very solid fighter. He is. Let's move on though to the next fighter. Next up, Daniel Marcos, 16-0, fighting out of Peru. Probably Peru's only hope for a top 15, top 10 guy. He's a very good striker. This dude tuned up John Castaneda. Arguable robbery win against David Grant, but apart from that, looked pretty much flawless in his career so far. Finished Simon Oliveira. Was beating the fuck out of Aori Trelang. Got the no contest due to nut shots. Should have won that fight easy. Yeah, he's looked real good recently. Looking very solid. And I do think he is ranked caliber. I want to see him fight Martinez next. I think that's a banger. But no, this dude is very good at striking. Grappling remains to be seen, but he seems pretty solid there too. David Grant exposed a little bit of stuff, but I think he's improving rapidly as well. Let's move on though to the next fighter. Next up, Ray Saruya, 10-0. I'm putting him at the number 12 spot. I think it's like less good that I was really impressed with his debut. Like he looked solid, his grappling's real good. I think the upside for this guy is crazy. I think this guy's going to have a very Tatsuro Taira-esque run where he has some decisions. He gets some finishes, looks real good. His grappling's elite. Got really nice submissions. This dude was going for twisters, going for crazy shit. He's going to have a lot of fucking wild scrambles. He's going to do a lot of dumb shit probably, which could get him in trouble. But I do think this dude, mainly it's the upside. He's 22. He's going to be around for fucking 10 years minimum, unless he just turns into a bum. But yeah, very good fighter, Ray Saruya. I think he's better. I think Rinya Nakamura right now is better in comparison, but I think the upside for Saruya is a bit higher. Let's move on though to the next spot. Next up, Danny Barlow at the number 11 spot. 8-0. This dude's striking is nutty to watch. He's a very solid striker. Love watching this guy strike. Fighting next weekend as well. He was meant to fight Uros Medic, would be a really good test. Would have loved to see that fight. Now he's fighting a debuting guy, so he should get that one done pretty cleanly, but it'll be a good chance for him to show off his skills again. Also see how he goes in the Apex. Don't think it'll make a difference, but yeah, I want to see Danny Barlow get back in the cage. Very good fighter. Striking's great to watch. That's all I got to say. Let's move on to the next fighter. Next up, number 10, Lerone Murphy. I forgot this dude was undefeated because I saw like the 1 on his record. I forgot if that was a loss, but no, it's a draw. So maybe shouldn't be in the video, but just to round it out to a nice even 30 people, I'm obviously going to include him. Just beat Barboza, whooped him up, looked real good. Yeah, apart from that, great striking, great boxing. Wrestling's pretty solid, grappling's decent. But yeah, Lerone Murphy's looking better and better every time out. Don't know how old he is. I think he's in his 20s, I assume. But yeah, Murphy's real good. Let's move on though to the next fighter. Next up, Bo Nickel. The biggest fucking Trump glazer of any UFC fighter that you can find. Arguably more than Colby, to be honest. Heard this guy talking about Trump playing golf. Can't believe how good this guy was, man. Crazy. It's like Dana White, John Jones levels of glaze. This dude glazing Trump, I swear. But regardless, he's a very good fighter, great wrestler. Look, is the upside all there? Do I buy the fucking people saying this dude's just a fucking future champion, man? It's just a matter of time this guy's going to win a belt and destroy everyone. No, I just haven't seen that. You're like, cool. You subbed Jamie Pickett. Awesome. Pickett is now no longer with the promotion. You KO'd Val Woodburn, making his debut, who then went down to fight at welterweight, who then lost to Oban Elliott. And then you beat Cody Brundage, who is clearly, quite literally, the biggest pussy and not built for this sport. Like, definition of not built for this ever. And you had that dude at one moment in the fight walking you down, stuff one of your takedowns and chuck you off. Yeah, you subbed him, easy win. Your wrestling's real good. But I do think there's just a lot of people that are going to stuff the takedowns. And yeah, Bo Nickel, I'm not trying to hate. I could come on here and glaze Bo Nickel and say he's the best fucking fighter to ever exist. But for some of these guys, even though he's clearly higher up, that's why I respect him. I've been glazing a lot of these guys that are lower down on the list than him. I'm going to just criticize Bo Nickel a little bit, but still, no, his wrestling's great, but he's got a lot of work to do. If this dude got chucked in there with fucking, I don't know, like Cannonier right now, I'd probably pick Cannonier. Like, I'm pretty confident that I'd probably pick him against, I'd probably pick, even like Hermanson, I actually low-key think would beat this dude in like a 5-rounder. Let's move on though to the next fight. Peyton Talbot, the real Sean O'Malley, according to Lucas Tracy. No, but Talbot is very good. The striking composure and technique of this dude is crazy. Full glaze going ahead here. People in the comments been telling me to just start glazing Talbot. Alright, fair enough, bro. Hey, he's real fucking good. He's smooth. He's slick. Like, what do you want me to say, bro? Pause. No, Talbot's really good, though. Whooped up Cameron Saman. Guru's still coping about that to this day. Smoked Gamori. Dumb French fuck just stood in front of him and let himself get KO'd. I had a bet on Talbot by round 2 KO because I'm like, normally takes his time. And I thought, like, Gamori would do some weird shit and, like, just survive for a bit. And then he just smoked him immediately. It was very frustrating. But no, Talbot is very good. Debut was questionable. Can be grappled. That's something that needs to be mentioned. We need to see this dude defend more takedowns because debut, he literally got, like, held down and got his back taken in round 1. And then the other guy just gassed out. But still, not trying to pick holes in Talbot's game. He is very good, obviously. I literally said this dude would beat Cheeto Vera right now. I did a video... I did a video where I was like, fight unranked fighters that could beat ranked opposition right now, and I tried to find the highest ranked fighter that I thought would lose to someone outside the rankings, and I was like, I low-key could see Cheeto just getting tuned up by Talbot, and a lot of people gave me shit for that. So yeah, Talbot's really good. Let's move on though to the next fighter. Next up, we got Ian Cucciato Gary, 15-0. The wins are solid. He beat Magny, he beat Jeff Neal, he beat MVP. Starting to think this dude doesn't like black people. Maybe he's getting a bit too jealous of them fucking his wife. That's all I'm saying. But Ian Gary, who's the other guy he beat? I think he beat Gabriel Green's a bit tanned. Jordan Williams. Is Jordan Williams white or is Jordan... whatever. I'm dragging it too much. But yeah, most recent 3 opponents, that's all I'm going to say. If this dude fights Edwards next and wins, we know he's got that motivation. We might have to get him... He could be based. You never know. If he goes out there and tunes up Leon Edwards, we might have to get this dude into the Dober clan and just Giga Chad this guy out. Because maybe the motivations are there. We just need to change a few of the other aspects. But on the fighting note, look, he's solid. The grappling against MVP was alright. Pretty decent showing there. Pretty mid, to be honest, actually. I'm just, like, he's become less impressive every time I watch him fight. Like, the Magny fight was amazing. I was like, bro, that's sick. He tuned up Magny. That's pretty cool, man. And then the Neil fight was shit, and the MVP fight's shit, and he's going out there being like, I'm doing what I have to win, I'm fighting dangerous guys. It's like, yeah, but everyone's dangerous. Is this what you have to turn into now? Because I just don't think you're going to be able to do that to, like, Shavkat, Leon, Della, all that. Like, I just don't see that happening. But let's move on, though, to the next fighter. Next up, Tatsuro Taira. Great timing on this video, because I just found out he's fighting Brandon Royval October 12th in the Apex. I'll definitely do a live stream for that card because I'm a big Tatsuro Taira fan, have been for a hot minute, picked him in pretty much all of his fights. I know that's not a crazy thing to say, he's been a big favourite, but yeah, I like Tatsuro Taira a lot. I think he's very good. I was tempted to put him a bit higher, but I was like, just based off the resume, I can't. I probably shouldn't have put him above, I think, who I'm going to talk about next. I don't know which order I've got these guys in. But no, Taira's very good. Best win is the injury, injury over Perez, but injury caused by Taira, not a fluky injury. It was actually caused by Taira. His grappling is nasty. His striking's looking a bit better. I don't want to see him be standing with Royval. That would be dumb. I think he's going to ragdoll Royval. He's going to take him down real easy. But apart from that, yeah, so he should win that fight by submission, I reckon. But yeah, on the ground, once you're there, he's nasty with it. Like, difference between... Makhaev's not in this video, by the way, just letting you know. But, because dude got sent to PFL, lol. But, no, it's like, the difference with Makhaev is, Makhaev would get you down, do a whole bunch of crotch sniffing, just like, dry suck your dick, with your clothes on. Why am I saying that? No Jones. And then he would just let you up, get a submission in the 3rd round after looking mid. Taira's just smoking you on the ground for the most part. Like, most of his wins, he's just running through people on the ground, dominating them, and making them look shit, and, like, they've got nothing to do on the ground, compared to Makhaev, who got a 3rd round submission over Jafal Filo and Malcolm Gordon. Anyway, let's move on though to the next fighter. Umar Nurmagomedov at number 5. 17-0. He's beaten some decent opposition. You know, Beksat Almakhan, Hayoni Barcelos, Nate Maness. Great opponents there. I probably should have. I wanted to put Tyre above him, so I probably should have. But I know a lot of people will be like, man, you're just hating on Umar, man. He's a savage. I'm sure he's probably going to beat Corey Sandhagen and make me cope about my pick because I'm picking an underdog. I'm picking Corey Sandhagen as a plus 240 underdog because I just think that's dumb. But whatever, he'll probably win in clutch sniff. I don't know, but Umar's pretty good. He's a very solid fighter. But the people that are like, Umar's the next fucking champion, you can't say that based off resume. You are just saying that based off like, yeah, I think this dude's just going to put the shit together because it's not like he's even looked like Hamzat on the rise. And maybe that's better. Maybe it's better to not be an absolute fucking destroyer of worlds on your way up and just be like cleanly beating people. So that could be the best base for like being a prospect, not just rinsing and smoking everyone and then you'll shit yourself as soon as like a fight gets somewhat tough. Umar's having fights that are like, they're not tough, but like he's got to put in a 15-minute effort. And I like that. So yeah, I do think he's going to do pretty well against Corey. He either wins and this take ages pretty well, maybe he loses and looks shit. Even though I'm picking Corey, that's because I want Corey to win. And I'm setting like precedent. If Corey wins, I can just be like, yeah, I picked Corey. I told you guys, you fucking casual pick. Obviously, you should have picked Corey. And if Umar wins, I'll be like, I thought he was going to win. I just wanted Corey to win. So there you go. That'll prevent someone in the comments from saying that when it happens. But yeah, Umar's real good. Anyway, enough yap. Let's move on to the next fighter. Next up, we got Movsar Evlov at number 4. You know, arguable robbery against Allen. Could be a loss there, wouldn't hate that. Look, he's looked very solid in his fights, but I'm yet to just be like, oh my god, Movsar Evlov, like, never finished someone in the UFC. He's talking to Ilya, was shit talking to him, and he's like, careful Ilya, I'll beat you by decision too. Like, oh hell nah, fuck's this guy doing? But no, Movsar's real good. He's fighting Aljo, he's probably going to win. Let's move on though to the next fighter. Here's where people are going to get some conflict going in the comments. Khamzat Chimaev at number 3 is my take. I think Khamzat is incredibly good, but just recently, I think a lot of the hype and a lot of the sort of confidence that this dude's going to be a champ has lowered. Look, am I saying taking Usman to a decision is bad? Not at all. Leon finished Usman with a comeback TKO, and apart from that, this dude just doesn't get finished. But the way he did it, he just looked so mid on in the second and third rounds on the feet. He was the one prepping for a fight. Usman came in short notice, upper weight class, not preparing, whatever, all that, and just looked great in the second and third. Not looked great, but just put it on. Khamzat, bro couldn't defend a jab. Even the Burns fight was real fucking tough, real close. I don't know, it's just not, like, Della finished Burns. I know he was losing a couple of rounds, but Jack finished Burns. He looked much better in a lot of moments. Khamzat, like, he's very good, but people are calling this dude a fucking triple champ. And now I think he's just pretty, like, he's solid, he's really good, but I'm not confident. If you like, hey, pick DDP versus Khamzat, I'm taking Dricus. If you say pick Strickland versus Khamzat, I'm taking Strickland. I'm just not so super confident this dude wins the belt. But whatever, let's move on to the number 2 spot. Shavkat Rakhmonov at number 2. Now, Khamzat and Shavkat, they are interchangeable. If you want to say casual man, Khamzat's obviously number 2 man. Then obviously I'm not going to dispute you. Khamzat's very good. I just think right now at this point in their careers, Shavkat's better. I'd be more confident picking Shavkat against more of the top 5 than Khamzat. Like I would confidently pick Shavkat against everyone in the top 5 except for Jack Della. That would be my take as of right now. But Khamzat, I wouldn't be as confident with everyone in the top 5. So that's kind of what the basis right now. Also, Shavkat, bit more well-rounded, I think. I think he would beat Khamzat on the feet. I think overall, at middleweight, Khamzat would probably win, just being too big for him. But I don't know. I would probably pick Shavkat in a fight at welterweight if they fought, like, skill for skill. I think it's just a bit better. So yeah, I don't know. I've got him number 2. That's my personal preference. But anyway, let's move on to the number 1 spot. Number 1 is, of course, CM Punk. Nah, it's Ilia Topuria. It's pretty obvious. It's the only person on this list that's an active champion, current champion. Beat Volk by KO. Crazy. Ilia Topuria, very fucking good fighter. I don't think there's a lot of dispute here. I mean, I would probably hear an argument out if you wanted to get Mick Parker in at the number 1 spot, Ilya maybe floating around that 2 spot. But no, I think it's pretty clear Ilya Topuria is the best undefeated fighter in the UFC. There's going to be some casuals being like, Makhachev's undefeated, dude, or like, Jones is undefeated, dude. There's going to be some people coming in saying certain fighters are undefeated when they're not, but they're retarded. Anyway, that is the video done, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, do all that. Follow the Instagram, of course. Like, or else Sharabagamenov is going to be in your bed tonight. Subscribe, or you have the immune system of Hamza. And yeah, peace out, boys. See ya.